Our next question was sent via the Cult of Cornette Facebook group by Patrick Stubblefield.
Oh, come on.
Do you think Goldberg might have been developed and used properly by the WWE as opposed to the path that was taken in WCW? It's an interesting what if. What if Goldberg had come up in WWE instead of WCW?
Yes, he would have been developed better, trained more properly, and would never have been as big as he was. Because they didn't try to do that. And that's, like the Montreal screw job or the greatest angles or the greatest attractions in wrestling usually come from shit that you didn't really try to do in the first place. They saw this big guy, former Atlanta Falcon, fucking jacked up body, tattooed, whatever. Yeah, let's put him over, but he's a shit worker because he doesn't know anything. So let's put him over quick. But because of the intensity that he had and the appearance and just the way that he did it, that's been done a lot of times before in wrestling, regionally and nationally, with a big slug that can't work, smash him over quick, but it didn't work like it did with Goldberg. He had the personality. But they were, because WCW had no direction. They had every kind of direction, multiple directions in the world. Different people were doing different things. There was no quality control. There was no one voice behind everything like there was with the WWF. So Vince would have never put the guy out there to begin with unprepared, just say, I put him over on TV without a plan behind it. And if he had a plan behind it, then he wouldn't have changed that plan when Goldberg started to get over as a massive babyface. He would have kept him as a heel or whatever. So because it was so ad lib and snatch and grab and no one person was in charge and shit like that got to happen, then they see Goldberg's and then they start the streak, Mike Tenay. But then, of course, they have to start bullshitting the streak and making numbers up that people knew couldn't be. He won 15 matches in the last 7 days or whatever, right?
It was unnecessary, yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, Goldberg got over like that as a phenomenon because the people chose him. He was the right person with the right look. And then they fed him people to keep that going. And they had an unlimited roster of cannon fodder. Because they were paying everybody. They could bring in people that you hadn't seen on TV for a year, but had names and have him jackhammer them. Or they just jackhammer almost everybody that didn't have creative control and political pull, because a lot of the guys didn't give a shit because they got the same money either way and nothing was really drawing. So fuck it. Yeah, let him beat me. And that's why it worked. And then when they started fucking with it and made him a normal human and started doing the screwy booking, then it was kind of on the downhill slide, but they really went out of business before they had a chance to kill Goldberg, right? All the way.
Oh, yeah, no, they never got a chance to kill him all the way. He's still over today for a reason.
Yeah. Well, Vince did a better job trying to kill him when he first brought him in a couple of years later and, didn't understand the whole deal. But that's the thing is, he got over by himself by accident, not planned, and then they ran with it for a while, but then they started fucking it up. But before he was really dead, they went out of business. So he still got the aura, but in the WWE, where there was more top talent, there was more control over the booking, there was more of a plan behind the way that people were being presented, whether it's a good plan or a bad plan, it was at least a plan. So Vince wouldn't have let him just throw Goldberg out there and that whole phenomenon wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting too, because you've heard probably like I have over the years that maybe some of the guys who are around his age that have been in the business a lot longer, who were main event guys in WCW, may have gotten in his head, may have told him
Yeah.
maybe they weren't conducting themselves in the best way and they advised other people to do the same. Maybe it benefited them. I mean, you've heard a lot of different things. What do you do if you have a prodigy? You know, for lack of a better term, someone who comes up and, maybe not a prodigy, someone who comes up and right away they're a star.
When you have a phenomenon.
And you need to build upon it. And you also have to make sure while you're doing it, you could work with the person. What do you do to protect someone who doesn't know the business from people filling their head with shit?
Well, therein lies a problem, because you can't fix stupid, right? If somebody is inclined to believe people's bullshit that they wind them up about, then there's almost nothing you can do about it besides telling them, hey, people are going to wind you up and tell you shit, but you just try to show them the right way. And if they trust your opinion, then they will believe you instead of other people. But I mean, there's all kinds of different ways that people can get in, a guy's head like that. And whether he's insecure or whether he's too secure, whether he's over fucking egotistical or he's completely a basket case. It's when you get anybody that's really dedicated to want to do something, because you can't say that Goldberg wasn't giving it his all, and he's a former pro athlete anyway, then you can really fuck him up when he ain't smart to the wrestling business. But it just, it depends on. That's the thing about showbiz of any kind, entertainment, sports of any kind. Joe Namath probably wasn't the best football player of all time, but goddamn, for about 10 years there, he was, when you said name a football player, Joe Namath. Who sold the most tickets? Joe Namath. Who's in the movie? Joe Namath. Because it's the package of charisma and personality and look and talent. And brains has to come in there, because you have to know what to do with all of those things. I don't know whether that tells you about Goldberg or not.